you can open in a browser. So automation, we are using Selenium. Selenium supports multiple languages. One of the language is Java. So that's why we need to learn Java to create a test scripts in Selenium. Along with Java, Selenium also supports C#, Python, JavaScript, and so on. And coming to browser support, Selenium supports Opera, Safari, Firefox, IE, and Chrome. These are the browser supports. Okay, why we need to understand the browser support? Because Selenium supports only web application automation. Selenium supports only web application automation. Hence, we need to understand what are the browsers supported by Selenium. Okay, coming to operating system support. Operating system support by Selenium. Okay, what are the operating systems supported by Selenium? Selenium supports all major operating systems okay, available currently. It supports Windows, it supports Linux, it supports Mac environment. Okay, so that is the reason Selenium is so popular among IT projects, and many projects are moving or migrating from a licensed tool to Selenium. Okay, we have a set of licensed tools like QTP, Rational Functional Tester, Test Complete, and so on. These tools are licensed tools. On top of this limitation, this tool supports only limited operating systems. For suppose if you consider a QTP, it supports only Windows. It does not work on Linux. Okay, due to these limitations, most of the IT projects are moving or migrating their automation scripts from licensed tool to Selenium tool. That's another reason. Okay, coming to Java, why we are learning Java and why need to, what are the aspects we have to focus on Java? Java, first of all, we have to understand the architecture of Java. Java, how many components are there? Under Java, we call JDK. JDK is a Java development kit. To develop Java applications, we need a kit that is called as Java development kit. Okay, so Java development kit contains JRE plus JVM. Okay, JDK contains JRE and JVM. Okay, Java contains Java JDK contains JRE and JVM. What is JRE? Java runtime environment. JRE provides a runtime environment to run our Java programs. Okay, so JRE contains what actually? JRE contains system softwares. What are the system softwares we have? Compiler. Okay, Java library. Okay, and just-in-time compiler and memory management. Okay, coming to JVM, what JVM contains? JVM contains a interpreter. Okay, and JRE also contains a class loader. Class loader. Okay, class loader also called as linker. JVM contains interpreter. Along with interpreter, it has actually what actually native library okay, associator. Okay, let me explain these components one by one. JRE contains compile. What is this compiler? what compiler does. As I said in yesterday's class, the Java program, this is a Java program. Okay, I'm just repeating whatever we have explained yesterday. Java, we just create a program called Hello World .java. This program gets converted into Hello World .class file, and this class file acts as the input to the interpreter and gets executed and finally print in the console hello world. Okay, this is what happens. See, hello world.java is just a file. Inside hello world.java, we have a class. This class gets converted into a bytecode. This is called as a bytecode or intermediary code. Okay, this is a bytecode or a intermediary code. Code. Intermediary code get generated. This is also called as hello world.class. Okay. After generating a intermediary code, this code gets converted into a machine code, or also called as byte code. Okay, machine code or binary code or a binary code. Okay. Finally, interpreter will take this binary code as an input and it just interprets this binary code on operating system and hardware and simply execute its commands. That's all. That's the overall flow of any Java program. This is the overall flow of any Java program. So coming to compiler, it compiles your code. Compiler means it contains a lexical analyzer. This analyzer will basically analyze the code with respect to the syntax and memory management. Okay, and then if the program is developed as per the grammar, Java grammar, then simply generate a class file. Along with that, to create any Java program, we need a Java library. What is this Java library? Java library contains the packages and classes required to create a Java program. That is all about Java library. Okay. Then coming to just-in-time compiler. What is just-in-time compiler? JIT compiler. So this is basically required to execute your program more faster way. We create so many objects and we use so many variables in the program. These variables will be stored temporarily in a heap memory. Just-in-time compiler will access these variables and the objects from heap memory quickly through just-in-time compiler. Once you execute your program, it generates a class file. At the same time, variables and the objects get stored in a temporary memory, and this just-in-time compiler will use those variables quickly in a runtime. That will make your program more robust and more faster in the second iteration onwards. Coming to memory management, there are two types of memories we can see in Java. What are those memories? Heap and stack memory. Heap memory contains the objects which we have created in a program. All the stack contains the variables and the program which we have created. Whenever you create an object, the memory gets allocated in the heap memory. Okay, whenever you completed your test execution, automatically these objects get deleted and the memory has allocated to the variables and objects gets removed. Who does this actually? It was automatically done by JRE. Okay, then class loader. What is this class loader or linker? See, these class loader components basically link all the packages required to run your program in a runtime. Suppose we are using system.out.println, or suppose you are using a hash map or a hash table. These are part of a java.util package. This util package gets loaded by using a class loader component. Compiler, Java library, just-in-time compiler, memory management, and class loader. These are the very important components on a JRE. Coming to JVM, what is JVM? What is JVM?
Java Virtual Machine.
Okay. Yes. Next. Okay. What it does? Yeah. Try, no problem. So JVM provides a Java virtual environment. Why do you need a Java virtual environment, first of all? Why do you need a Java virtual environment? Yeah, just a second. I just want to open image. I'm just checking that. Okay. Look at here. See the first one, there are three components: loading, linking, and initialization. The class loader is one of the components in a JRE. First, we create a file. Inside a file, actually what we do, we generate a dot class file. Okay, as I told you, the dot class file get generated over here. See, dot class file get generated. This dot class file acts as an input to the class loader. What it does, class loader? Class loader basically, there are three components in a class loader: bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, and application class loader. There are so many classes required to be loaded in runtime to run your Java program. One of the component is a bootstrap class loader. Bootstrap contain all basic classes required to run a Java program. And extension class loader, see, suppose I am just developing a Java, mobile application using Java. We need a extension. For suppose I am developing a web services application using Java. We need a extension again. These files can be loaded in runtime through extension class loader. And coming to application class loader, the classes which is very specific to the current application gets loaded in runtime. That is nothing but application class loader. Bootstrap, those are the very basic and essential classes required to run a Java program. Extension classes, those are required, very specific to a particular platform or technology. And application class loader, which is required, to load the classes specific to your application. After loading, what is the next step? Linking. Okay, we just verify whether the classes are properly linked to the current program or not. Verify, prepare, and resolve. If there is any conflict, it will resolve using a linking. Linking also called as linker. Initialization. Finally, the class loader initializes your class file and then it sends this file to the stack area. What is the stack area? Stack area is nothing but memory management. Okay, so we have created a class and we have generated a dot class file and this class file undergoes this phases called loading, linking, and initialization. After undergoing these phases, finally it will send that file to the stack area. The stack area is nothing but a memory, method area, and heap area. Memory method area also called as stack area. Okay, stack and heap. Okay, the heap memory is a very faster than compared to stack memory. The heap memory will access all the variables and okay, in much faster way than a stack memory. Then here you can see thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, and so on. Okay, if you are using any threading concept in Java, basically your all variables get stored in a different threads. Then coming to PC registry, PC registry is nothing but a memory location. Again, it will allocate a okay one thread, okay one PC register for each thread. If you have multiple threads, automatically these threads get registered or allocated to different registries. Native method stack. What is native method stack? If you are using a console data or a system.out.println, it is going to okay, it is going to interact with the monitor. These monitor methods are nothing but a native methods. There are certain methods which are linked to your desktop, or there are certain methods which are linked to your keyboard. These methods are called as native method stack. Is it clear? This comes under runtime data areas, and then finally, after allocating the memory to the class, it will go to the execution engine. Execution engine. This execution engine basically called as JVM. This execution engine contains three parts. So again, interpreter, just-in-time compiler, and garbage collector. Interpreter, as I said, it interprets the byte code onto the respective platforms. Okay. So after while interpreting what it does, there is another component called just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler contains a intermediate code generator, code optimizer, target code generator, and profiler. Intermediate code generator, it generates intermediate code. Finally, a code optimizer, it optimizes the code. Basically, it removes all unwanted objects and stores your class file or native code in a proper manner using a code optimizer. Target code generator, it generates a code which is specific to your platform. And profiler, and then finally go to garbage collection. Okay. So interpreter or execution engine always interact with the native interface, native method interface, and native method library. As I said, native method interface nothing but a methods which are native to the particular component called as a native method interface. Native method interface acts as a middleware between the native method library and the execution engine. Okay. So this is all about Java architecture, JVM, and JRE. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you create a program that will undergo these many layers, first layer is class load subsystem, and then will go to the runtime data areas. Then finally it will go to the execution engine. Execution engine basically performs the execution of your program. Okay. Hope you are clear about the Java architecture and application flow. Yeah. Now open Eclipse. I have already installed Eclipse. So this is an Eclipse which I have installed. You simply have to click the Eclipse IDE icon which is there on your desktop or on your C drive or D drive. Then click launch. What is this workspace? Workspace is nothing but a path where we are going to store our Java programs. Okay, we have to store our Java programs, right? So we have to give a path where we are going to store our Java programs. I'm going to store my projects under a C drive Java projects. Just click launch. I just want to show you how to create a simple program today. Very simple program. Okay. Java programs. Okay. Let's now see. I just want to explain so many components should be there under JDE because Java is a ocean. Java is like, okay, so many technologies we can develop using Java. We can develop applications on mobile. We can develop applications on embedded systems. We can develop applications for APIs like web services and so on. But so we are not going to touch all those things. We can't learn also. Okay, so since we are focusing on testing, I'm just going to explain the wizards or okay menus which is required for creating JavaScripts in Eclipse. See here, if you go to File, under File you can create a Java project, package, class, interface, enumerator, and so on. Coming to Open File, you can open a file. You can open a file. These are the recent files which we have created. Close editor and close all editors and so on. Just if you want to switch to another workspace, definitely you can do that from a switch workspace. That means I have created another folder where I just want to store my Java programs. You can switch to another workspace. This is how we can switch workspace. If you want to restart Eclipse, you can definitely do that by using a restart. Okay, then coming to edit, here you can see we can you edit the program by using a editor. Coming to source, we can toggle comment, block comment, and remove block comments, add the text block, shift left, shift right. Okay, these are basically used to align our code. After creating a code, all these options gets enabled. By using these options, what you can do, we can properly align our code. Okay, we can format our code. Okay, so these are the options available under source. And coming to refactor, what is a refactor? If you want to tweak a code at a MOS level, we have hundreds of classes developed. If you want to refactor the code, you can definitely do that under refactor. Refactor comes under extreme programming technique. We have already discussed about extreme programming. Okay, extreme programming is a technique used in agile methodologies. We use a refactor under agile. Okay, then coming to navigate, okay, you can skip this section. We basically use this navigate to develop web-based applications. Okay, and then coming to search also, if you want to search a particular item in your program, we use a search. References, declaration, implements, read access, write access, and so on. Then coming to project. Okay, if you want to open the existing project, you can use that by using open project, close project, build all, build project, build workspace, clean, and so on. Okay, then coming to run. Okay, this is a run. If you want to run a program, you can run this program. Run as, there are so many options available. You can run this program as a test-ng test and so on. And then run configuration. If you want to configure the program, run configuration, you can do that. Debug history, toggle breakpoint, toggle trace point, and so on. That means you can debug code basically under run. Then coming to window, new window, editor. Okay, toggle split is basically it is used to toggle the window. Okay, preferences. These are the preferences of Selenium IDE. You can see general. These are the preference you can see here, and then Antler. This is the Antler. If you are using Ant as a one of the build tool, okay, I know you are very new to Java. You can time being you can ignore these points. Actually, Antler is basically a build tool. Data management. Under data management, if you want to connect to any database, okay, we use these options. SQL development, if you want to develop any program that is linked to the SQL, we use a data management options. Gradle is a build tool again. Gradle is a build tool, and then help install and update. If you want to automatically update the software, you can do that once a week, 30 minutes and so on. Available software site. These are the available software sites we have. We have already linked all the software sites. So suppose I'm just going to show you here TestNG Eclipse. Okay, from here it is going to add all the plugins and required files from this portal. Okay, then coming to Java. Okay, here under Java we have so many options. Appearance. Okay, these are actually editor options. Coming to build path. So automatically it creates a SRC and bin folder. Okay, so SRC and bin folder gets created, and then code coverage. This is a code coverage. We can remove for timing. You can ignore it. Code style, and then compiler. Which compiler you are using? Actually, JDK compliance. Currently, the Java Eclipse IDE supports 10 and above. Currently, we are using JDK 15. Hence, it automatically supports all higher version gets supported. Debug, you can debug our code, and editor, you can see the editor here. This is the editor option. Okay, if you want to set any settings, you can definitely do that. Okay, parameter hints background and completion override background and so on. There's a huge, so many options are there, but we never use in testing. We never use in a testing. Okay, execution environment. See here, we can see here. Okay, Java standard edition 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 14, 15. So these many environments are there. Okay, just look at here. It's a perfect match for JDK, and this is a perfect match also. And coming to standard edition 9, we don't have any installation for standard edition. That's why it's not showing. Okay, but it's showing only Java JDK 15.0.2. This is the one which we have installed. That's why it is showing environments as a Java SC 15. Okay, so you can install any the latest version or the older version of JDK, and you can execute your Java programs. And coming to JUnit, here you can see JUnit is a testing framework. I will explain what is JUnit later, but try to understand these are the options available for JUnit. Java Enterprise Edition. If you want to develop any enterprise level application, we use these options. Okay, Maven. Look at Maven. Maven also very important option. Offline, do not automatically update dependencies from remote repositories. Okay, and Maven offline and debug output, download artifacts resources, automatically update Maven project configuration. Okay, hide folders of physically and nested modules, and do not automatically update dependencies from remote repositories. Maven is again a build tool. We use this tool to create builds. I will explain what is Maven later. Okay, so these are the options we use very frequently in Eclipse. Okay, clear? Yeah, I'm just going to close it. Yeah. Now let's see how to create a simple program. Java program. Okay, otherwise you can go to other also. Yeah, other also. You can go to Java project. Here you can see Java project. Just click next. Okay. Java. Okay. So okay. Java training class is the project name, and here the standard edition of Java runtime engine, which I'm using is JDK 15.0.2. Okay. Click next. Okay. Click finish. Okay. Java training classes. Here, if you look at SRC folder gets created automatically. This is the standard template provided by IDE. Okay. So if you create a Java project, automatically JRE system library gets linked. See JDK 15.0.2, this linked automatically to Java project and automatically creates a SRC folder. SRC folder is nothing but a source folder. You can create a new package. I'll explain what is package later. So this is a package. Finish. So it's empty package. I just want to create a class. Please remember the steps. I'm just going to create a class here. What is a class actually? You can create a class name called okay, I think naming conventions also changed in JDK 15. See, try to understand JDK 15. That's a version. If you are using lower version, automatically the certain rules of the Java gets changed. Okay, certain rules gets changed automatically. So remember that. So I'm just going to select this option called public static void main. I just want to add to my code. Okay. So these are the modifiers. I will explain what is public, private, protected, and so on later. Just click finish. The project has been created. See, look at here. This is a very simple program. Inside this, I'm just going to add a very simple step called system.out.println.